let's talk about that game. AS Real Bamako. AS Real Bamako is the game that Accra Hearts of Oak engaged. There was a second leg. Hearts lost the first leg by 3-0. They needed to overturn the 3-goal deficit. Some people said that the miracle of Osu was coming. I saw pictures midweek where Don Bote was holding hands with certain Hearts individuals. They were saying prayers and whatnot. In the end, it didn't happen. But I must say that something happened that I think I should condemn here. Look, there was some act of hooliganism that was performed by fans on the vehicles of certain board members. I think that's totally unacceptable. I mean, look, you can air your displeasure in your songs, you can air your displeasure in your drama, you can air your displeasure when you have a platform to speak. But to go to the point of physically attacking their property, I mean, who knows what you will do next? It's completely unacceptable. I think that I think we should condemn that. Accra Hearts of Oak need to also probably release a statement on what happened, because the end of that game was not pretty at all. Let's hear from assistant Hearts of Oak head coach David Oklu. He was optimistic that his team had enough in the tank to overturn this tie. It didn't happen. Let's hear what he had to say after.
AS Real Bamako is a good team. You could see that they know what they are doing. Okay, we also came in with a plan, with a 4-3-3 initially, but it's like our transitions are not that swift, and Banyan looks isolated at the top there, so quickly we have to change to a 3-back, 3-5-2, and we created a couple of chances. At least we had a one. We have one inside.
David Oklu not looking inspired at all. He talked a good game before the match itself. Let me start with Daniel before I come to you, Coach. Daniel, in the end, Hearts of Oak eliminated, but the lessons from this game were more off the pitch than even on the pitch. But your thoughts on the encounter?
First of all, he's an interim head coach.
Yeah.
His
assistant coach, actually.
His time as assistant hasn't started.
Well.
He's now acting as head coach. So when they decide, whenever they decide to hire a substantive head coach, that's when he become assistant.
So he's a standing coach.
So he's a standing coach, interim head coach of Accra Hearts of Oak. So these are the things I don't like. You don't. It's not about speaking out of emotion. And I thought that's what he was doing in his pre-match press conference when he was asked about the game. When he spoke, make statements like it's not a match, you are going to turn it around, don't worry.
Is he not trying to whip up a fan base that is downtrodden?
No. You read the room, you read the energy, and then you act accordingly. Hearts of Oak fans were not overly optimistic. There was a lot of disgust from the first half or from the first leg performance in the fan base. You pick on that, and you see, you talk like we'll give our best, we'll try. You don't go out and give some certain assurances and disrespect the opposition, because that's what his statements before the game was alluded to. And then you go out in the second leg, you are poor in the second leg, and then you end up going out by 3-1. It's very embarrassing, honestly. It's the CAF Confederation Cup. That's the second tier club competition on the continent, and Hearts have been kicked out in the preliminary rounds. It's so disappointing, and it's a downgrade on what happened last season, because last season they made it past this round in the CAF Champions League. Then they dropped down to the Confederation Cup and got knocked out in the round just before the group stages. This time they've not even been able to reach that point, and it's very disappointing. And it goes back to what we said when Boedi was being sacked. Yes, fine. If you feel the head coach must go, that is fine. That is, you are the ones in charge, and you are the ones who have given him a target, and you know the business that had gone out or gone on behind the scenes. But make sure that the person who is coming in can take the club past this level, because what you spoke about and the thing you dwelled on when you were bad-mouthing the coach and making him look like he didn't know what he was about, was saying that he couldn't take the club anywhere in Africa. So when you are getting rid of him and you are bringing somebody in, that person should be somebody of proper repute, somebody who is of the standard, who can go into Africa and at least take us past the preliminary rounds. But this is embarrassing. If you look at Oklu's record, it doesn't suggest anybody who can go into Africa and win a single game. I'm actually surprised he won the game, so I clap for him because that is huge for his own CV. He can go out and say he won a game in Africa. But somebody who just last season was responsible for one of the worst first-round performances we've seen in the Ghana Premier League. The team ended up being relegated. He spends the following season as an assistant to your main or your main rivals, and now he's the one leading you into Africa. Let me just give you an example. What it is that imagine Liverpool decide to sack Klopp today, and when they sack Klopp, they go and bring Man City's assistant and let him go and coach them in the Champions League. That is exactly what it is. And it doesn't speak of a club that is serious. And it's very disappointing that it's panned out this way because it shouldn't have happened this way. It's not like...
This was avoidable.
It was very avoidable. Hearts of Oak and Real Bamako should be able to battle it out on a very competitive level. It shouldn't be this easy for Real Bamako. And it has been made easy because of the actions of Hearts of Oak. And it's very disappointing that it's ended up this way. But attentions now tend to a league that is on break. We don't know when it's coming back. And look, it's just made the entire domestic scene for Hearts of Oak faithful very dire. And it's sad that the fan base has to endure this. Because as I said, it's by no fault.
You had Africa to look forward to. You've been kicked out of Africa. Now there's no local football to look forward to.
Exactly. It's by no fault of the playing bodies, by no fault of the fan base. It's just the fault of the guys who are running the club. And this is not the way to run a club or the repute of Hearts of Oak. Well,
talking about running Hearts of Oak properly, Samuel Boadu, recently fired Accra Hearts of Oak head coach, was present at the Accra Sports Stadium. He received an absolutely resounding welcome from the Accra Hearts of Oak fan base. It's one of those rare things. It's something you won't see a lot in football, but this was quite gripping. Just check this out. Hearts of Oak fans and the appreciation of Samuel Boadu. Wow. Look, at the point, he was literally begging. He was begging, like, I beg, like, it'd be cool, the fans be cool. Like, but I like Boadu, he's a hard guy. See how he held his phone up in the air, you know, like, don't try it. Like, you see, I'm not going to get carried away by the moment. My phone there, you know. Coach, look at that.
Get here. One thing that is so clear.
Yeah.
That those people, those fans, those supporters,
yeah,
are not stupid. They are not what? Stupid. They know exactly what they want and what they need and how to show to the people in the board of Accra Suffolk exactly what the sacking of Samuel Boadu meant to them. Look, the time is up. Me, I sit here. I condemn any form of violence for all those Hasselhoff supporters who were involved in the deflecting.
They need to fish them out and punish them.
And the destroying of every form of thing belonging to Odo Taylor. I condemn it. we should encourage that. But just after condemning it, the time is now. Emrina soon. Be leshe, be show, be bache, be leshe. The time is now. That Akambi, Odote, and my daddy, in fact, he called me during the week. Dr. Nyaotamako, he called me. We had a very good conversation.
Did you tell him that it was time?
I'm telling him now that the time is due. That he should now go and play the role as what?
A patron.
Patron, council of elders. When we need any advice, they will attend to him. His ideas are obsolete. Our cake is finished.
He's bringing you a Serbian coach.
4,000. It's finished. Look, last week I told them the solution of the problem. I said that it has to be Akambi Lewandowski, Odote in midfield, and Dr. Nyaotamako.
Andrea Odote.
So anybody who understood what I was virtually telling them that they were not going to qualify. Because that, even, these are not registered players. So they will not be, the coach is not registered. The one who should coach for us to qualify is not registered. There are two players, midfield and they are all not registered players. So I was basically telling them that, forget it, it's done. And certain decisions has caused this thing. And for as long as, what is it that Akambi does? I don't want to make my submission all about him. But he's been involved, Odote, even politically. You couldn't find your feet. And you want to do football. Politically, you couldn't find your feet.
No, that's unfair. That's a different arena.
That's politically. That is it. But if you want to do House of Folk, there's a way of doing House of Folk. Look, let me tell you something. Do you know when the referees got here?
No.
They got to Ghana yesterday. Terminal 3, the first tent. They stood there for more than 1 hour, 20 minutes. I am putting this on record. They stood there for more than 1 hour, 20 minutes, waiting those who come and pick them up. Could you believe that? Would you believe that?
That should not be happening.
Nobody in House of Folk can deny this. Because I was at the airport yesterday, I was at the airport again today. Even I saw them with my naked eye. And I was asking myself, goodness me, if this had been Harry Zakor and Tomioka and Co., no more manche, by the time those people would have landed, VIP, Mercedes-Benz, SRAM, even in the Benz, so many things will happen. No more card come to hotel and check. What sort of people are these? You see, they don't understand football. They don't know what football is about. So they will sack a coach that has got the backing of the supporter spiritually. You see?
You mean this, spiritually?
No more. You see, this word it's not ordinary.
You mean Bwedu's connection with Hearts fans is spiritual?
Look, there's a divine connection. That alone, look, propels the team to a certain level. I told Dr. Nyao that the players were completely against the sacking of Samuel Bwedu. And that is what we witnessed today. The time has come. The supporters have made their point very clear that they are fed up with Akambi. You see, look, if I was the one in charge, I will honorably tell the great king, Togo Fede, you've given me close to, is it 12 or 13 years? You've given me close to 12 years of
over a decade.
Over a decade. What do they have to show up for it? It took Samuel Bwedu to get them to show some form of tangibles, valuable tangibles when it comes to the domestic scene. On the continent of Africa, they've got absolutely nothing to show for it. And the manner in which the day-to-day run of this club is being handled is completely poor and shambolic. I'm offering my services to Accra House of Folk as I sit here today that I can say for a fact that I will do a better job than Odote and Akambi. I'm telling you honestly today. No more Togbafede. Give me the job to do.
You mean you are officially?
I will not sack a coach, or I will not sanction the sacking of the coach who has won me a cup, 5 cups in 18 months, when I have only 1 week to go and play in the African match. Who would do that? Would you do that? DK, would you do that?
Never.
Who would do that? And then when you listen to them speak, they talk about the fact that Samabwedu didn't do well last season. Kotoko won the league. He lost 6. Look, I think about 6 games to spare. Kotoko had already won the league. Placing second in that league will take you nowhere. It is the FA Cup that takes you back to Africa. So what did Samabwedu do? He won the FA Cup. When the season started, he was to go and play Aduana. Aduana is a venue that has to normally get beat whenever they go there. So he lost against Aduana. He drew against Great Olympics. And he drew against Komasa Santikotoko. In Ketia, were those so bad results deserving of the sacking of such a manager?
Well, like you and I have said on this show severally, it looks like the lines were drawn for him
so
already.
It is clear that those people making the decisions are selfish. It is in their, maybe they stand to gain by the sacking of Wedu. This is football. But look, I could have bet my last peswa that under Wedu wouldn't have lost 3-0 in Bamako. Under Wedu, today's performance would have been better. And when they were trying to capitalize on the emotions of the team, and somebody say we'll do ways and means. You don't do ways and means when you keep the referee standing. Look, I said they were standing under the tent. I saw them. God knows I saw them. They stood under the tent for 1 hour, 20 minutes. And there was this other guy who were calling. You can clearly see that he was trying to get to Akambi and Co. Why are you? The people have come. They stand
and you notice them because they come with their CAF embossed equipment.
Look,
and
you see them, you see them.
Yeah, you
their
notice them.
I couldn't believe what I saw yesterday. I couldn't believe it. You can go to Terminal 3, the first 10. When you get to the arrival, the first 10 there. Go and ask the security men over there whether what I'm saying is not true. Who are those managing these clubs? When you need 4 goals, you don't treat referees like that. This is what we call ways and means. This is the beginning of... You don't go and stand on radio or sit on radio and say, come, ways and means. You keep them standing there for 1 hour, 20 minutes with their badge stranded. House of Folk has been eliminated with cheeky ease by Bamako. What is the name of the thing?
AS Real Bamako.
AS Real Bamako. With cheeky ease. Odote, sign the resignation of yourself with cheeky ease. Akambi, with cheeky ease. Goodbye. As for Doctor, he served this club with dignity. But like I've said, the time has come for him to go and sit back. When the modern ideas need some consultation to based on experience, we'll come to, I will prefer to come to him on a daily basis. He's invited me to his house, and I'm going to take the opportunity to go and visit Dr. Nyao Tamako. And I'll tell him, da, won kwamufai, heni be shele, akeke, if I don't know, Bechin,
let me read a few messages.
You understand? They've destroyed this team just like that in Ketia.
Yeah.
Harry Zakos House of Folk.
Yeah.